Hi guys, my name is Emily. Welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesdays were created by Lainey from gingerreadslainey and are currently hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tones. Links to the Goodreads group are in the description box down below. Today is November 23rd, and today I'm going to share with you 5 books that I want to reread. There are many books that I want to reread, but these are the ones that when I scanned my shelf really stood out to me. Like, if I could reread these right now, I would be a happy camper. And the first is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So I read this when I was still in high school. I hadn't read a lot of classics. I was just sort of stepping into classics, and I knew that everybody loved Pride and Prejudice. My friends at the time were particularly obsessed with Pride and Prejudice and the adaptations, and I read it and I felt kind of meh about it. But then in university, I read Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen in the Norton Critical Edition, and I read a lot of the essays in the back, and I had a new appreciation for Jane Austen's writing. And so I would love to find a Norton Critical Edition of Pride and Prejudice and give it a read now that I'm older, now that I'm a more experienced reader, and now that I have some of the literary criticism on Austen in mind, especially because of the recent feminist rereadings of Jane Austen. I would love to start reading this and sort of see how other people are rereading the text and reading agency into the text. So this is something that, because it's sort of hot in the Academy right now, I would love to reread. The next book is A Passage to India by E.M. Forrester. Now, the reason I would love to reread this is because one of the very first videos that is still public on this channel, I believe it's still public at this moment anyway, is A Passage to India by E.M. Forrester. And I talked about A Passage to India based on the reading that we did in my course. Now, it's a very specific reading, specific to my class. And it was what I had taken from the lectures and sort of extrapolated on, and I shared it with the internet, not realizing that the majority of the people who would watch it are people who are looking to cheat on their exams and essays. I actually had people, when the video was very fresh, emailing me being like, "Can I talk to you about this? I'm writing an essay on this and I have some questions about your reading." And I'd get comments thanking me for the help on their exam. And let me tell you that my reading was very specific to my course. If you didn't read the book and you attended your exam and wrote about what I talked about in that video, honestly, as somebody who marks for university exams and stuff, I don't know if we would have thought you were a genius or if we thought you were an idiot that clearly didn't read the book or didn't come to class. So I think I would like to reread this, 1, to see if I still like it as much as I did at the time, and 2, to film a new review. A review that is actually a review of the text, and a discussion video that makes it very clear my reading of the text. It's not going to be your standard SparkNotes reading because of the angle that I'm taking on this text. The next book I would like to reread is the Trickster series by Tamora Pierce. So this is one of the more recent books. It is about Alana's daughter. I've only read them once. Most of the Tamora Pierce books I've reread over and over until my copies fall apart. I didn't super love them, evidently, because I didn't reread them. From what I hear from other people, this is perhaps one of Tamora Pierce's more progressive books. I've heard that the character is very sexual, very confident in her sexuality, very independent, and I feel like I would really get a kick out of this now. I think Allie is probably one of the more nuanced characters in Tamora Pierce's Tortall universe, and I really think it would be important for me to reread this. The next thing I would like to reread is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Now, this is at the top of the things to reread, 1, because I love it so much, 2, because I feel like in order for me to read the third book when and if it finally comes out, I'm gonna have to be super familiar with this universe and this world to kind of keep track of things. Because when the third book comes out, I don't want to be rereading all 3 of them before I get to the third book. I would like to just jump straight into the third book. And the final thing that I would like to reread is The Gunslinger by Stephen King. This is the first book in the Dark Tower series. It's sort of Stephen King's dabbling into fantasy. I read this when I was a little kid and honestly can't tell you anything about it. I didn't continue on with the series, which indicates to me that I didn't like it, because when I was a kid, I was very good about completing series if I liked them. As an adult who reads a lot of fantasy and as a Stephen King fan, I feel like this is something that I really need to read. What I'm actually thinking of doing is at some point in the future organizing some sort of read-along, perhaps. So I believe there are enough to do a book a month for a little while. I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, maybe in the new year. If you guys are interested, let me know. So those are the 5 books that I would really like to reread. Let me know in the comments down below what's one book that you would like to reread. Also, let me know if you are interested in a Dark Tower read-along. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!